Anyway, it'd be nice that you tell me that. You know that?
It's your project, right? It's your baby. We're gonna cut ours, and you're gonna have to do it.
Picture this: a family that's tougher than nails, mining gold together in the wilds of gold country. The Beets crew, led by the legendary Tony Beets, a big guy with wild blonde hair, a booming voice, and a no-nonsense vibe, has been a powerhouse for years. They've battled brutal seasons, dug up mountains of gold, and stuck together through it all. Tony built this empire from scratch, and his family was his secret weapon. His son, Kevin, was right there with him, learning the ropes since he was a kid, fixing giant machines, driving monster trucks, and pulling gold out of the dirt like a pro. Everyone thought Kevin would take over one day, carrying on the Beets legacy. But then, bam! Everything flipped upside down. Kevin did the unthinkable. He turned his back on his dad and joined forces with Tony's biggest rival, Parker Schnabel. Yep, Parker, the young hotshot who's been breaking records and shaking things up in the mining world. It's like a family feud straight out of a movie, and it's got everyone buzzing. Why would Kevin ditch his own family? Subscribe to the channel before proceeding further with the video. Here's the scoop: Tony's old school. He's all about hard work, grit, and doing things the way he's always done them, because, hey, it's made him millions. Kevin, though? He's got big, bold ideas. He wanted to bring in fancy new tech, make things smoother, and mine smarter. But Tony wasn't having it. Season after season, the tension grew. They'd argue over how to run the show, Tony digging in his heels, Kevin pushing for change. You could feel the cracks forming. Finally, Kevin had enough. He didn't just want to mine gold. He wanted to prove he could do it his way. And who better to team up with than Parker Schnabel, the guy who's young, sharp, and always one step ahead. Kevin's move shattered the unbreakable Beets family bond and sent shockwaves through the gold fields. But here's the kicker: this is just the beginning. The battle's heating up, and the next twist could change everything. So grab a front row seat. This gold rush drama is about to get wild. Imagine two totally different gold mining bosses: Tony Beets, the tough-as-nails guy with old-school vibes, and Parker Schnabel, the young whiz kid who runs his mines like a slick machine. Tony's way? Grit, sweat, and vintage gear that sometimes breaks down. Parker's way? Cutting-edge tech, smart plans, and gold piling up fast. People used to call Parker the Kid, but he's proven he's a big deal now, and he's always on the lookout for fresh talent. Kevin Beets, Tony's son, couldn't help but notice. While his dad's crew battled rusty machines and endless headaches, Parker's operation was smooth as butter, raking in more gold every year. For Kevin, it was like looking at two different worlds. He'd grown up under Tony's rules: work hard, push through, no fancy stuff. But Kevin had ideas, big ones, to make things better. Every time he pitched them, though, Tony shut him down. Work harder, not smarter, was the motto, and Kevin was over it. Then came a brutal season for the Beets crew. Machines kept breaking, setbacks piled up, and Tony just yelled louder. Kevin tried to suggest fixes, again, but it was like talking to a brick wall. Meanwhile, Parker's camp was killing it, and word got around: Parker wanted someone new, someone who really knew mining. That's when Kevin saw his shot. He didn't just walk away from his dad's crew. He jumped ship to join Parker. Boom! Game on. Tony was furious. Loyalty's everything to him, and Kevin's move felt like a punch to the gut. The Beets family had built their gold empire together, and now Kevin was ditching it all. Not just a job, but his dad's whole legacy. For Parker, though, total jackpot. Kevin brought years of know-how, insider secrets from the Beets operation, and a hunger to do things his way. With Kevin's skills and Parker's vision, they were unstoppable. Suddenly, Parker wasn't just a star. He was the guy who stole Tony's right-hand man. Back at Beets HQ, things got messy. Kevin's siblings, Monica and Mike, stuck with their dad. But the family vibe was wrecked. What used to be a tight-knit crew was now split, and you could feel the tension a mile away. For Kevin, joining Parker wasn't just about mining. It was about proving himself, stepping out of his dad's huge shadow and running things his way. Success came fast with Parker, but it cost him big time personally. His already rocky bond with Tony shattered even more. Tony, though, didn't just sit there. He doubled down, pushing his crew harder to show they didn't need Kevin. He's still the wild-haired legend of the goldfields, determined to keep his empire strong. But deep down, everyone knows Kevin's exit left a dent. This isn't just a mining story. It's a family drama, a bold move, and a battle that's far from over. Who's coming out on top? Stay tuned. Tony Beets always bragged he could handle anything, blizzards, breakdowns, you name it. But this hit him out of nowhere. Losing Kevin wasn't just a crew problem, it was a crack in the heart of his tough-as-rocks family. Meanwhile, Parker Schnabel's team, now turbocharged with Kevin on board, was smashing records left and right. Every win proved they were onto something big, but it also dug the knife deeper into the Beets family divide. The Beets crew didn't back down, though. They kept grinding, determined to show they could still hang with the best. The rivalry with Parker's team turned red hot. Every ounce of gold, every stumble, watched by fans and haters alike. This isn't just a mining tale. It's a wild ride of ambition, family fights, and figuring out who you are when giants like Tony and Parker loom large. Loyalty. It cuts both ways. Chasing your own path? It's pricey. Kevin's big move wasn't easy, but it was his way of carving out his own story. For Tony, it was a gut-punch lesson in how tricky family and leadership can get. And for Parker, a slick chess move that made him look like the smartest guy in the gold game. What's next? No one knows. Parker and Kevin are charging full speed ahead, but the Beets family's wounds won't heal overnight. Was Kevin's jump a genius play or a backstabbing blunder? Time will tell. One thing's for sure. In the crazy world of gold mining, where millions are made or lost in a heartbeat, the drama's just heating up. Gold mining's not just about getting rich. It's a pressure cooker of big dreams, monster machines, and even bigger personalities. The TV show Gold Rush loves showing every messy, jaw-dropping moment. Toss in gold fever and sky-high stakes, and you've got feuds that flare up fast. Some loud and wild, some quiet but deadly, all pure TV gold. It's the stuff that keeps us glued to the screen. Machines breaking, goals slipping away, or just people who can't stand each other. Way back in Season 1, the Hoffman crew kicked things off with a bang. Todd Hoffman led a bunch of dreamers who had zero clue what they were doing. Rookie mistakes, busted gear, and lousy gold hauls turned their big hopes into a total mess. Things boiled over when Jim Dorsey and Greg Remsburg went at it. Yelling turned to fists, and Dorsey finally stormed off. The crew even trashed his old cabin like they were wiping him out of the story. Jump to Season 7, and Dave Turin locked horns with Troy Polson. This wasn't just bickering. It was an ego showdown that ended in a fistfight. Dave was stuck managing a struggling team while handing gear over to Troy's winning operation. The jealousy and stress exploded, punches flew, and it was clear. These two were done. In gold mining, It's not just dirt and machines, it's a battlefield of wills. And Gold Rush makes sure we don't miss a second of it. After sticking with the Hoffman crew for years, Dave Turin finally said, "I'm out," closing the chapter on one of the show's steadiest stars. Rivalries in Gold Rush aren't just about gold. They're about pride, clashing ideas, and egos that spill over into real life. Take the epic showdown between Parker Schnabel and Tony Beets. Parker, the young gun, once looked up to Tony like a grumpy mentor. But Tony's tough guy rules and sky-high demands turned their vibe into a ticking time bomb. What started as teacher and student turned into a full-on war over land, royalties, and who's boss. Season 8 cranked up the heat when Tony shut down Parker's wash plant like a power move straight out of a movie. Parker fired back by dumping a pile of dirt on Tony's land, basically saying, "Take that." They've got this love-hate thing going, half respect, half rivalry. And it's one of the show's juiciest battles. But the drama's not just between crews. Even inside the Hoffman team, things got messy fast. Back in Season 1, Dakota Fred Hurt showed up with a big mouth and a knack for ticking everyone off, especially James Harness, who took the brunt of Fred's jabs. The whole crew felt like a volcano ready to blow. By Season 3, Dustin Hurt stepped up as foreman, but his cocky attitude pushed everyone to the edge. He had to swallow his pride and say sorry just to keep the team from falling apart. Fast forward to Season 11, and Fred Lewis rolled in with a squad of military vets, tight-knit and tough. But gold mining doesn't care about friendship. Lewis clashed hard with Johnny Stans over big decisions, and when tempers flared, Lewis stormed off, leaving the crew wondering if they'd even survive the season. Leadership fights? Oh, they're everywhere. Parker Schnabel, the baby-faced boss, has had older crew members push back against his full-speed-ahead style. In Season 9, Dean Toshak couldn't handle Parker's relentless pace, and their blowout showed how tricky it is to lead when youth and experience don't see eye to eye. Then there's the money crunch. Season 10 had Rick Ness sweating bullets, debts piling up, machines breaking down, and stress through the roof. Gold Rush is a roller coaster of big dreams, big fights, and big pressure. Whether it's Parker and Tony throwing punches, or dirt, or crews cracking under the strain, it's raw, real, and impossible to look away from. Gold's the goal, but the drama? That's the gold mine keeping us hooked. Chasing gold with barely any cash or gear is like trying to cook a feast with an empty fridge. It's stressful, and everyone's got an opinion on how to fix it. For Rick Ness, that tension turned into arguments over what mattered most: fixing broken machines or pushing harder for gold. Over at Tony Beets' camp, big dreams meant big fights. Tony wanted to go huge. Think massive dredging rigs tearing up the land. But his family, especially his kids, felt the pressure. Kevin Beets, his oldest, couldn't take Tony's non-stop demands anymore. By Season 15, Kevin said, "Enough," and struck out on his own, leaving sparks flying between father and son. This wasn't just about mining, it was a family showdown. Tony and Kevin's clashes showed how tricky it is to mix business with blood. Control, ambition, different ideas about what's next. It all piled up, making their already wild operation even crazier. The Beets weren't the only ones, but their drama stole the show. It's a classic tale. Family ties get stretched thin when gold's on the line, and sometimes they snap. Gold Rush isn't just about digging dirt, it's about people, their big dreams, and the messy stuff that happens when those dreams collide. Every fight over egos, money, or just plain misunderstandings adds fuel to the fire. For the miners, it's real life, with stakes way bigger than what we see on TV. For us, watching, it's a front row seat to the true price of gold. Not in shiny nuggets, but in friendships and families pushed to the breaking point. The show's wildest moments, like Tony versus Kevin, are like a mini version of life itself. Hope, greed, and grit smashing together in ways you can't predict. That raw, no-filter peek at people under pressure? It's why we keep tuning in. These feuds aren't just fun to watch. They're proof of how far people will go for their dreams, even if it means leaving wreckage behind. As long as there's gold in the ground, the drama's only getting started. Every season tosses in new minors, new headaches, and the same big question: how much will they risk to hit it rich? Take Kevin Beets, born June 10, 1988, into a family obsessed with gold. His parents, Tony and Minnie Beets, were Klondike royalty. With a younger brother, Mike, 1990, and sister, Monica, 1993, Kevin grew up with dirt under his nails and the rumble of machines in his ears. For him, mining wasn't just a gig, it was destiny. But now, he's not just following Tony's path, he's blazing his own, stepping out of the Klondike shadows and into the spotlight. Kevin Beets didn't choose the gold mining life. It chose him before he could even swing a pickaxe. Forget playgrounds or backyards. His childhood was all about the rough, wild Klondike. By age 13, while most kids were kicking soccer balls, Kevin was knee-deep in the mines. His dad, Tony Beets, didn't mess around with storybooks or school desks. Nope. Kevin's lessons came from hauling rocks, fixing busted machines, and watching gold turn dreams into cash or dust in a flash. Growing up like that, hard work wasn't just something to do, it was the only way. Kevin picked up his dad's tough guy grit fast, and by 19, he wasn't just tagging along anymore. He was calling the shots, running crews at the Paradise Hill claim. Big pressure? Sure. But Kevin handled it like a pro. All those years watching and working gave him a head start most could only wish for. Still, he wasn't content to coast on the Beets family name. He wanted to make his own mark. So, he took a detour. Kevin traded the Klondike for college, heading to the University of New Brunswick. There, he mixed leadership smarts with computer science. Yep, the guy's a bit of a brainiac. He graduated in 2012 with a degree and a new game plan: bring some tech magic to the mining world. While others thought gold was all about sweat and muscle, Kevin saw a chance to add some clever twists. Back in the family biz, degree in hand, he hit the ground running. From 2011 to 2013, he took charge of the Eureka campsite, a key mining gig, and didn't just keep things going. He shook them up. Kevin found ways to make mining quicker, safer, and sharper, mixing old-school tricks with his new ideas. And the guy's a machine whisperer, too. Give him a welding torch or a stubborn engine, and he'll have it humming in no time. Part leader, part tech geek, part gearhead. Kevin was ready to rewrite the rules of the gold game. Kevin Beets isn't just good with a shovel, he's a wizard with machines. Whether he's crafting new parts from scratch or coaxing old, creaky gear back to life, his skills are pure gold. Seriously, he's saved the Beets family mining operation tons of time and cash. His knack for fixing stuff and making it work better? That's been a secret weapon behind their success. But it's not just about the grind. Kevin's talents landed him on TV too. Thanks to Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel, the Beets crew became household names, and Kevin's no-nonsense know-how made him a fan favorite. On screen, you can see he's all about getting the job done, but he's also got big ideas. He's not here to just follow the old playbook. He's pushing for new tech, safer ways to mine, and anything that'll take the family biz to the next level. Off-screen, Kevin's got a partner who's just as fired up about mining as he is. Faith Ting isn't just his teammate on Gold Rush, she's his rock. Together, they tackle the crazy high-stakes world of gold mining, showing that shared dreams can build more than just a paycheck. They can build a life. It's clear Kevin's all in, whether he's fixing a bulldozer or planning his future. His story's wild, from a 13-year-old kid hauling rocks in the Klondike to a college grad shaking up the family business with fresh ideas. He's got grit, guts, and a drive to keep getting better. Mining's not just about finding gold for Kevin. It's about reinventing the game. With all he's done, his future's looking shiny and his mark on the gold world. It's here to stay. So, what's the deal with him teaming up with Parker Schnabel? Is it a brilliant move to build his own legacy or a stab in the back to the Beets family loyalty? We want to hear your take. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Gold Rush scoop.